all is right with the world. Here we are at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and there's about 32 cars over there getting prepared for 2 days of testing for the Indianapolis 500. I figured since my last video where I previewed the Long Beach Grand Prix was so successful, we'll do a preview of the Indy 500 test, because the reason I'm here a day early is because there was an announcement today that Paretta Autosport will not be in the Indianapolis 500, but they will be participating in at least three Verizon IndyCar, NTT IndyCar Series events this season. So I was able to talk to not only Beth Paretta, but Ed Carpenter, who will be the partnering team on that effort.
Because our team is still in this expansion mode, and where I'm bringing women from outside IndyCar in, it's critical that they have the opportunity and support to learn, right? Because they have to learn the different venues, the different race setups, and everything that comes with that. And as you grow as a team, you want to do that kind of slow and steady in a lot of ways so that you're doing it the right way. So for us to just do exactly what we did last year, even if it was with Team Penske to just do the 500, in fairness, I still would have wanted to do more. Because the opportunity to learn is in doing other things and in doing new things. There are teams that just do a one-off of the 500, but they have a different intention and a different ambition for what their, what that effort means and what that effort entails. And ours from the beginning was always this idea of wanting to grow to be full-time. So doing what we're doing is getting me a step closer to that, whereas I think just doing the 500 again wouldn't have really moved the needle for us commercially or literally, competition-wise for these ladies to just grow their own skill set.
Tell me about Ed Carpenter Racing. Why are you so excited about this partnership, and what does this partnership do best for you?
I think certainly once we come back to the 500, Ed is so great here, but we work really well with Chevrolet, and so in fairness, then you want to talk to another Chevy team. In fairness, I actually talked to a lot of team owners in the off season that are friends, just to even say, hey, tell me about what you did and what would you do and just kind of, I'm talking, where should I get some shop space? Where those sorts of things that you do, because I'm friends with most of the team owners in this series. The ones that I'm not friends with, I just haven't really gotten to know. I haven't met yet, but many of them I've known for many, many years, well over a decade. So it was wonderful to kind of be able to talk to a lot of different folks. But I will say that when I talked to Ed a few years ago and then talked to him last fall, it felt like it was a really good fit where what we're doing can also be complementary to him, because the way that a partnership or an alliance needs to work is there has to be value on both sides. I don't want to be a burden to his system. I don't want to take away from his competitive nature. And this was something where we felt like we could fit together and maybe be better if we work together than even individually.
Yeah, Beth and I have been discussing ways to work together, going back a couple years before she even got to the Indy 500, and the stars just didn't align, and she kind of changed course and was looking to do some races after Indy, and that became more appealing to us, and we thought we could bring some value and also receive value out of being a partner of Paretta Autosport. So from there, just put the details together, and we can make it work, and came to terms, and it's gonna be fun.
How crucial is it to kind of get some extra races out of that third car, and do you see this kind of maybe expanding into a full-time third car?
It's possible. We're not to that point yet. We're focused on doing a good job for the here and now and what we have. But it certainly creates opportunity and conversation for down the road.
Simona Di Silvestro, obviously your driver the last 2 years. I would say her strength very much lies on the road courses. 2 podium finishes in cars that really probably shouldn't have been there. How can you really evaluate your performance potential here? Because I think it's probably pretty good.
I think it is going to be pretty good. She's also really good on street courses. She actually was on the podium in Houston in 2013, and respectfully too, after she left IndyCar, she went right into Formula E, and those are all street courses. One thing that she's still a reserve driver for Porsche for Formula E, so she spends a lot of time in the simulator, and she's actually one of the few drivers, not few I should say, but she's a driver who can absolutely connect her simulator time to her on-track time. Some drivers have a better knack of that than others, and thankfully she's in that category where that she can actually translate a lot of that time and skill into behind the wheel. So I gave her the list of races that we could potentially do, and she picked her top races. I said, rank these. I mean, respectfully, of course, any driver would be like, all of them. But she's also pretty pragmatic about it. And she said, okay, these are great. And respectfully, I'll do all of them, but these are really good. And that helped me when I presented the list to Ed. I presented the list to Chevrolet. And I said, hey, what do you think about this? And they said, this is great. In fact, they were really excited about Nashville because it's such a great, there's so many fans. Last year was the first year, obviously, of Nashville. And it was jam-packed. It'll probably just as jam-packed this year. So I think everybody was excited about that for the fan experience. But Mid-Ohio jumped off the page to Simona because she's done well there before, and I think she's just, every driver wants to go somewhere where it suits their style, so I think that's what she's most excited about, and we're excited to support her in that.
Final question from me. You mentioned the possibility to expand this year. What are the steps that you need to make to get there?
It's just a schedule thing because the women that we have on our crew, they still have full-time jobs, and this is what they were doing on the side. And interestingly, the way that this has worked out, we have a race in June, a race in July, a race in August. That's actually really good. I didn't necessarily do that by design, but it's actually worked out well because these are, they have to kind of fit this into their schedule, right? So this is not what they're not doing this full time. You can't earn a full-time salary running 3 races. So a lot of it was me just figuring out among all of our people what their availability was and kind of how they can make all of this happen. So as we kind of progress, we may add a race if those schedules align. I mean, if it's basically Simona and one person, I might not do it. But I will say everybody wants to do it, so we're just trying to, but it's too early for me to commit unless we can move a couple things.
Sure.
But the goal is to do it.
Right.
So, and hopefully you'll see us more than 3 next year.
And so obviously the reason we're all here is for tomorrow and Thursday, the Indy 500 Open Test. And since I was here, I decided to snoop around the garage a little bit. And there are certainly some new liveries to be looking out for. You've already seen the announcement of the Arrow McLaren SP green cars, I guess we'll call them, kind of the Army green. It'll look good in victory lane, we'll put it that way. Team Penske has kind of done a throwback not only to Danny Sullivan but also to Helio Castroneves. The number 2 car will be in the I guess the kind of gold, almost Miller High Life gold, but I guess it's Shell Fuel Rewards gold for Joseph Newgarden. Another interesting addition to the field, I guess you could say, is that Romain Grosjean will be in the fruit stripe car that we saw at Detroit. So, and I assume that's for the Indy 500, and I'm sure the online discourse for that will be very positive for the sport. And it's fantastic to finally get back to this racing facility being an oval facility. It seems like every time we're here, it's for road course testing. So there's something magical when they're actually going the correct direction around this racing circuit. Now, over the past couple of weeks, I've spoken to a lot of drivers, and I've been able to ask a lot of drivers about how they feel going into the month of May and the Indianapolis 500. And of course, as tomorrow is kind of the first real day in preparation for that effort. Let's listen to what these drivers have said when I've asked them about what they think their chances for the 500 are this year.
I feel good. I feel as confident as we can be. We were really confident last year, so it's tough to say, oh yeah, we're super confident, we've done everything we can to be quick. Obviously last year's work, didn't pan out the way we wanted, but, we doubled down on everything. We re-looked at everything we looked at last year just to make sure that we were looking at it properly. Maybe we missed something. And then we've tried to explore what we didn't get to last year. And I think we've done our homework. I mean, I can't fault the team for the effort. We've put so much effort in last year, did the exact same thing this offseason. So, hopefully we get it right. I think it's important for us to get it right, though. It's not just a hope at this point. We've got to get it right. Indianapolis was by far our weakest link, and if we can fix that, it'll fix a lot of problems for us.
I'm going to be quietly confident because last year I really thought with all the work we did in the off-season, we'd be competitive, but we were good at Texas. It's the first taste of a super speedway, and we'll see. We were massively disappointed and a bit confused last year, so we've done equally as much work in this off season. So we hope that pays off.
Yeah, I'm really hungry for Indy 500. Texas was not an easy weekend for me personally. It was a good result, even how I struggled. But 7th place is always good in IndyCar if that's a bad result. So yeah, I was just struggling a bit more than usual. Was not easy to pass, not easy to go even fast. So it was good to go off Texas with a 7th place, good points. But I think it changes so much to Indy. Indy, we have a week of practice. We have a test, open test coming next week, I think. So that gives me so much more experience, and I feel so much more comfortable than Texas. Only one practice and go to qualifying, and the race is going now. So it's like, oh, I was not ready. So yeah, still improving, still getting comfortable, and I'm ready for the 500.
It's always exciting. It seems like it's coming up quick this year for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just because we've been busy, but yeah, it's still cold outside, but it definitely feels like May is coming, and that's always exciting. You know, I'm really happy with the team and the work we've done this off season, and ready to get on track tomorrow and see how we stack up, and you know, give us a little bit of a window to learn some things and be fully prepared for when we come back in May.
I am very confident. I think also Chevy has made an improvement. I could feel it in Texas. I could feel it on street courses. So they have improved their power output. So I think, you know, the last 2 years, Honda has been superior in Indy 500 qualifying. I think we can, you know, give them a good run for their money this year. And yeah, when we have more power, you know, we're going to get way faster anyway.
That's scary. You were on the front row last year, and you're saying you didn't have enough power?
Last year, you know, if you look at Honda compared to Chevy, we were off there. And I think everyone can see that. So I think the car will be better. I think we can fight for a pole this year at the Indy 500. And of course, fight for a win during the race.
Oh, I feel good. I mean, as long as our cars are thereabouts, I feel like we're going to be there or thereabouts. You know, I'm quietly confident because I know how long it is. You know, I know how you've got to build the month out from the practice 1 onwards, and then Fast Friday, and know when we're at. And everyone, you won't know where you're at till probably Fast Friday. But you know, I'm excited. I learned a ton, like I said, at Texas. You know, that battle that we had with Dixon, Ericsson, Power, VK, like trying to put yourself in position for the last stint. You know, I enjoyed that, and that's what we're going to have to do at Indy. And I felt like I did pretty good there, and with that, and mindset-wise, it puts me in a positive space for sure.
And so, the excitement starts tomorrow. We've got Kyle coming in tomorrow. We've got Darian from the Black Flags Matter channel coming in tomorrow, so you'll be seeing content from both of them as well as me. Again, all is right with the world. Indy cars going the right direction around the oval here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And while it's a little bit chilly today and it's apparently not going to be great weather the rest of the week, it doesn't matter because this is what's exciting. I can hear cars warming up in Gasoline Alley. The excitement is building. And oh, by the way, I spoke to Mark Miles, and you may have heard in the press conference for Paretta Autosport, he was asked about the 33 cars. He kind of gave an answer on whether there would be 33. I asked him again, kind of one-on-one. What he said was he's pretty much he is guaranteeing 33 with the potential of a 34th. Now, I know there's one effort that is very close but not a done deal yet to fill the field. They need a chassis. They've got the crew, they've got an engine, and they've got the money. They don't have a car right now. The second effort, I do believe, is still Top Gun Racing. We're going to have to see how that goes. As far as I know, some of the extenuating circumstances surrounding that team are not resolved at this time, and therefore any attempt or any effort we'll see from Top Gun Racing is going to be absolutely last minute. But I think they're our only hope for a bump this year at the Indianapolis 500. So, stay tuned for my coverage tomorrow. I can't wait to cover. I mean, this is my bread and butter right here. This is what I live for, the Indianapolis 500. We'll see you in the next video.